Hello and welcome to episode 66 of 15K Plus Random Movie Reviews, the podcast where we take a random movie from Metacritic's all-time movie lists. This is Colin.
This is Niall.
And this is random movie 8190. It is The Eagle Has Landed from 1976. It runs for 2 hours and 15 minutes. It's got a Metascore of 61, a user score of 6.6. It had a budget of 6 million, and I could not get what it got in the box office. So I imagine I think it was successful.
So looking at the cast, which is
Stacked.
very full, it is stacked for its time. I suspect a lot of people would want to have seen this.
Yeah, for sure. And I think I read last night it was pretty successful. It wasn't well received, and I can understand why. And I think even Michael Caine had a little bit of, I don't know, regret about how it was done. Actually, so the director John Sturges, he had a great career behind him, Great Escape, Magnificent Seven, Hour of the Gun, a lot of other stuff, and he was near the end of his career, and so there's a lot of stories about him just dialing it in, and he didn't even show up for editing and post-production. He just left England and
wow.
I
still have a different view of this movie because I actually enjoyed this. I thought it was an interesting take on the World War II genre. It doesn't follow the same lines as most movies. It's just gung-ho and unthinking.
Yeah. I didn't not like it. It's got its issues, but...
it's got its issues, yes. And mainly around accents.
But Jesus Christ. Oh,
yeah. Be gone now, sure, isn't it great now, sure.
Well, you said you'd watched it in your... As a kid or teen or what? No, probably not a teen.
Yeah,
you're into cooler stuff as a teenager.
I remember as a younger kid, this was on terrestrial TV all the time, and when you've got 5 stations, you ended up watching what was on. And if there was a war movie on, it was either this or Glen Rowe. Crappy Irish sitcom. Not even a sitcom. Just
I remember watching Hamburger Hill. That was maybe after this. Dirty Dozen. Telly Savalas.
And they're all a similar ilk to them. They've all got the same soundtrack, let's be honest.
Yeah, but this one's interesting because it's everybody that you know and love are all playing Nazis, or members of the German soldier army.
Yeah, I don't think calling them Nazis would be all that accurate considering how they behave at the start of the movie. What they do to get court-martialed isn't a very Nazi thing.
Well, that was Colonel Steiner's paratroopers who...
Stiglitz.
Hugo Stiglitz. So John Sturges was, so Michael Caine wasn't happy with him and the way he sort of phoned it in. The writer was Tom Mankiewicz, and based on a novel by Jack Higgins. Tom Mankiewicz wrote Superman 1 and 2, a lot of Bond movies, Live and Let Die, Diamonds Are Forever, Man with the Golden Gun.
Explains why we have a Mr. Pleasance, who was a mainstay in some of those movies as a Blofeld.
Blofeld, yeah. And I read that he spent a bit of time in some sort of library in England looking at Himmler's, a lot of back videos of Himmler speaking to get his mannerisms, and he's a bit eerily weird in this one, which I guess is what Himmler acted like.
Yeah, apparently he's quite on the nose with his depiction of Mr. Himmler.
Yeah. The music is by Lalo Schifrin, and he wrote the Mission Impossible theme tune.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's sort of generic war movie music.
Yeah, a lot of drums. It's more than serviceable. Like it doesn't impose itself over the movie. It doesn't add a great deal of... Well, actually, at times it does add a bit of tension, but it doesn't do that much.
No, it's kind of there. You don't really notice it. Just 2 other people in the production side I wanted to note was the cinematographer Anthony B. Richmond, who was on the rooftop for the Beatles concert on the roof in '69, and also the person who actually got these people together, the casting director Irene Lamb, also did the casting for Star Wars 4 and 5. So that was interesting to read that. Well,
Oh, the originals?
Yes, the original 4 or 5.
Okay,
New Hope, Empire Strikes Back. Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, that's 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah. Very short summary on Metacritic. A German plot to kidnap Winston Churchill unfolds at the height of World War II. And this plan is actually this plan was true, actually. It was what was called Operation Long Jump. Unternehmen Weitsprung.
Did it ever go into operation?
No, it was conceived. It was reportedly planned. The plot was to infiltrate a conference and assassinate or kidnap the leaders, but Soviet intelligence uncovered the plot and thwarted it.
It's almost like an inverse.
Actually,
Glorious Bastards.
Yeah, actually, it's got a link to the end of the actual movie, because when they say, "Oh, Churchill's actually in Tehran," that's when they were going to get Churchill, Roosevelt, and Stalin at the Tehran conference in 1943. So yeah, it's got a bit of a link to reality, but yeah, it's based on Jack Higgins' novel, so there's a little bit of factual.
Not much, but a little.
Not much, especially when Donald Sutherland is playing a Paddy.
The thing is, he has on-screen, charisma, but he just needed to tone it down a little bit, or a lot.
It's one of my pet hates is plastic paddies.
Yeah. So the thing is, as paddies, we probably are more sensitive to the whole thing.
It's just annoying.
Foreigners wouldn't care all that much, but it annoys the crap out of us.
Foreigners. I don't get offended by it. I just think it's shit.
It's weak, in my opinion. Don't bother with the crap. All the English and American actors who were playing Nazis just spoke with their own accents.
Yeah.
Why couldn't he do that?
Yeah, it was a weird movie to get through with all the just. Yeah, you wouldn't do that nowadays. The Germans are speaking German and everybody else is speaking English or whatever. But it's just something that you don't see anymore, and you don't really. It's crap to hear it anymore. Like a bunch of Nazis, a bunch of German officers speaking English. It's just the opposite of reality.
Like Michael Caine is profoundly not German.
No,
super English. So
yeah, he didn't even.
And he's just using his accent. And I kind of get it. It's like Sean Connery. You kind of want Sean Connery to sound like Sean Connery as well. Perestroika, that sort of thing, Again, maybe cast somebody who can do a German accent.
No. Irene Lamb said, let's get a bunch of lads who have a bit of background to them, a bit of caliber, so we can cash in on the war movies.
Yeah.
It starts off with a newsreel where it shows that Mussolini was snatched from a roof or cliff.
Yeah, and it was voiced by a chap called, I don't know if you ever watched Blackadder back in the day.
Yeah, I watched it a bit.
The narrator of that show is the same narrator as this movie, Mr. Patrick Allen.
Did you cop that on straight away? Oh, that's Blackadder.
Of course I did, yeah. Well, I couldn't remember his name, but I had to Google it. But it was the same chap who did Blackadder.
That's good. It's a good call there. I knew it wasn't authentic. I knew it wasn't like from the news, from Pathé or whatever.
Yeah, no, he's got a super duper voiceover voice. It's fantastic.
Cool. Yeah, so obviously they snatched Mussolini from northern Italy or whatever. I think when the Italians got restless or whatever, just to bring him to relative safety, I guess. I don't know, actually, the background of that Mussolini capture. It was 1943.
Yeah.
And they brought him somewhere, but I don't know if he went back to Italy, because they nabbed him in Italy at the end and strung him up.
I'm not so sure. I can't remember that well.
No, I don't know. He must have went back or something. I don't even know why they snatched him up. Maybe there's some sort of resistance fighters got him, and then he got snatched by the Germans, and then he went back to his friends in Italy, whatever. I don't know. Should have done research, but didn't really. It was just the inspiration for Hitler in this movie was that they did that so well that they could do Winston.
Do a Mussolini on Winston, yeah.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of just helicopter shots going over the mountains, and based on a Jack Higgins novel. And Duvall, who is Colonel Rattle, gets called in for a feasibility study in this whole kidnapping affair.
Herr Oberst.
Yeah. And so he he said, listen, Hitler, Goebbels, and Himmler are all up in arms saying, yeah, they're excited and everything. So go at it. Do a feasibility study. But his boss is going. Listen, this is bullshit. Hitler's going to forget about it.
This is a pile of shit. Just do it up. Stick some things in a dossier. Slap it on my desk, and we'll forget about the joke.
Yeah. Why didn't Rattle do that?
Because when he started investigating it, his friend Carl comes in and goes, here's some stuff. Hey, actually, Winston's going to be on the coast, and it's unprotected, that coast, so maybe this could work.
Yeah, he was going to Studley Constable in Norfolk. Norfolking way.
Hey!
Yeah. So we got a bunch of... It doesn't exist, this town. It's
I am absolutely disgusted in hearing that.
Sorry about that. So yeah, they say it's something about Starling, who is the spy there, who has told them all this stuff, and they're checking out all the maps and everything. I love the way there's a freeze frame of a magnifying glass over Studley Constable. It's like
that was a huge magnifying glass, like comedy style.
Yeah, wasn't it one of the spoof movies where there's a guy with a magnifying glass in front of his eye, he takes it away and it's the size of his eye. I think it was Spy Hard or something.
Yeah, it's the same size magnifying glass, yeah.
Yeah, well, his buddy is like going, you heard about synchronicity? It's a young ideals, and this is the timing is just perfect for this. It came into our laps, and this could happen.
Almost like fate. Everything just aligns.
Yeah. But also, when they're meeting there, you're hearing bombs in the background. So it's 43. There's a lot of Germans thinking that the war is turning, and so a lot of the people I think the guy that Robert Duvall's character is based on is the guy, because he's got the glove, and the eye patch. It's based on the guy who actually formulated a plot to assassinate Hitler. I think it's the guy that Tom Cruise played in a movie a few years ago.
I googled why there were so many Nazis portrayed in modern culture as missing an eye or missing a hand or stuff. There was actually a reason for that. It's not just made up. It's actually because the lads in military school were fond of a bit of fencing, but they didn't use protection.
Oh,
and they would quite often get a whack in the eye or have a finger taken off. This lad looks like he lost an entire hand.
Yeah. I don't know what the real guy who plotted that assassination, what happened to him, but yeah, this guy is loosely based on him. So they're going, listen, let's get Steiner on board, man. He's done a lot of drop-ins and mission successfuls. So we cut to a train station, Nachschub-Bahnhof, which I don't think even exists. I actually read that they filmed this scene in Rovaniemi in Finland, in the stockyards up there. Yeah, I don't know why they went up there.
Definitely have enough snow up there anyway.
Yeah. So it's a bit grim. It's not really shown too much, but there's cattle cars with prisoners.
People being loaded on, but of all ages, which is kind of depressing.
Yeah, which is what happened in World War II. Steiner arrives. Michael Caine arrives. His first line is, "Let's stretch our legs, governor." It was like very, very British. He was like, "Oi, let's stretch our legs."
It's Michael Caine, and I'm a bleeding Nazi.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was just wondering, okay, what kind of accent is he going to do here? And then the first sentence,
straight up Michael Caine.
All right, mate, let's stretch our legs.
And it's funny because, like in Zulu, he puts on he still has a British accent, but he puts on a very different accent to his standard, bit Cockney. Yeah. He puts on an officer's gentleman accent. This, he just doesn't bother. He's just Michael Caine.
Well, I'm guessing like John Sturges was not caring a lot. He was like going, yeah, do whatever, do a neutral accent, everybody. Just don't bother me.
But that's what annoys me. Some of them actually try. Like Duvall actually puts on an attempt of a German accent.
Yeah, he's decent.
But then have everybody do it or have no one do it. That's my take.
Yeah.
Not a mixture. And certainly don't have Mr. Sutherland doing an Irish accent.
Yeah, we're getting to him soon enough. Anyway, there's a big kind of presentation here that Caine's character Steiner isn't as evil as the rest of the German system. So he tries to save, the girl runs away and he tries to save her, chucks her onto a cattle cart, and the SS come over and like going
Pop, pew
pop,
pew, she's down.
shoots
and
Prada, her name is. And so the SS come over, and he's just giving them all a load of guff, basically. Yeah.
Then he realizes, crap, everybody's about to get court-martialed, and it's my fault. Crap.
Yeah.
And they all get court-martialed.
Yeah, so they're like, but they stick together. We get a very quick sort of introduction to his team, and they're all standing with him, and they're all just
because one of the SS guys pulls a gun on their leader, and they all bring their guns out at the same time. So it shows where their loyalties are.
Yeah. So I sort of have a mixed up sort of scenes of what's happening here. I think Sutherland comes in to the fray. Duvall sends for him because he's a undercover professor in Berlin, I think.
He doesn't really explain what his skill set is, other than he's kind of a fixer, kind of spy type guy.
Yeah, I guess. And, Ireland's stance in World War II is quite odd. We were neutral. We were officially neutral as a country. And
mostly neutral, but kind of at times.
I think I read somewhere that we sent birthday wishes to Hitler. I don't know what years that happened, though.
We did. I don't know if it was during the war or prior, but it definitely happened. I don't want to know, because it would kind of be depressing if I find out.
Yeah, but we were very we were getting like guns and stuff from Germany, I think, coming into Cork, right? Wasn't that Roger Case? No, it's probably not. That's out of sync. My history.
That's way out of sync, dude.
Yeah, that's Easter Rising time, right, or something like that.
Yeah, that's a good 40 years.
Yeah, but I think there was other plots and other stories about getting arms from Germany so that we can stick it up the British Empire.
There was arms from everywhere, though. So
yeah, we had a common enemy, but we obviously didn't have enough sort of leeway or leverage or resources to actually do anything. I wonder if we as a country would have done that, because the enemy of our enemy is our friend, literally, I guess, was the feeling back then. But I guess we didn't really want to go into Hitler's bed.
Oh God, no. We went as too far, in my opinion, in the first place, but it didn't go that far, thank God. Yeah.
So yeah, he's presented as a supporter of the IRA, and we get a scene then with Himmler played by Donald Pleasance, who does a very eerie job at portraying him.
He's excellent, actually, as Himmler.
Yeah, so he hands Radl a Hitler letter. Yeah. So yeah, he's basically going, listen, this is from Hitler. Give this man whatever you want.
With a very not fake signature on it.
Yeah. So they, Duvall and Radl and Devlin, they head to Alderney Island, which is part of the Channel Islands, I believe, closer to France.
I do believe it was captured as well.
Yeah. It was interesting. It was like, that didn't know the Channel Islands, but they're very, very close to France. They're more French area than England area. They didn't actually shoot on Alderney Island, though. They shot in Cornwall, I think, for this dock area, for the pier area. Anyway, they're heading for Caine, and Caine's coming back from a mission on a boat. I'm like going, weren't you on probation or court-martialed or something?
Was I think the point was that he was on a suicide mission out in the boat and kept losing lads.
They just made him do work or something.
Yeah, because he was too good at doing stuff, so they kept him working.
Yeah. So Devlin said, I'm off to the pub, to be sure.
Oh, Bigara, I drink a lot. I'm Irish.
Yeah. So Caine's reading the plan, and it takes like 2 minutes of, Radl is going and talking to the boat people, and Caine is like, or Steiner's going, it could be done. I'll put it to my men. And Radl goes, hey, don't say a lot. And he says, I'll put it to my men.
Yeah. Don't mention who the target is. And he's like, no, I'm so going to tell them that.
Yeah. So like, he's a man of the people. He's a man of his team. The team look up to him. So he's sort of going, I'll do what I want to keep my team on board and keep the morale up.
As he says at this point, or maybe a couple of seconds before, is that he's basically got a death warrant on his name to just keep him alive for the moment. So what they got to lose? They need all the information, sure, and they get the chance not to be dead by doing this mission. And if they succeed, they all get pardons. So yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Devlin heads up to the pub, and the barkeep doesn't like the Irish.
No, he thinks he's an SS.
Oh, does he?
Yeah. He said, "Oh, SS, nice," and starts pouring whiskey on his arm.
Yeah. And then as
suck me tum.
Yeah, as Rattle comes up the driveway with Steiner, you just know he's going to be thrown through the window because the camera pans a bit too far to the right, just framing the window nicely. And he's thrown through the window.
But just before the shot, he's got a mischievous smile on his face. He's starting a fight.
Yeah. Just like the rest of us, we always.
So we love an out fight and a bit of drink.
It is the second movie in a row where we get Mother of God.
yeah, it's pretty much the same level.
Yeah, the cop in Time Cop back in the 1950s in Chicago said the same thing when he.
I just can't get the image of the movie 47 or 43.
Movie 43, yeah.
43 of the Leprechaun.
Jared Butler.
Jared Butler's Leprechaun.
Yeah.
It's a similar accent.
Yes, it is. We see the first instance of Devlin being a dog whistler here. He gets to attack dogs to lie down or something. Yeah. And off he goes into Ireland. Or I thought he was going to Ireland first and then going to England. And he lands and he's in England.
They jump right over his travel plans. His plans was he'd land just south of the border, then cross from Northern Ireland into the UK and then head south.
Yeah.
I don't know why they bother telling us that because it's not shown.
He's walking through a field of cows and he's definitely, the house looks English. I was like going, yeah, that's anyway. Yeah. So anyway, he meets Mrs. Grey there, who I'm guessing is Starling, right? The spy, I'm guessing.
They never actually say it out loud, but yeah, it has to be.
Must be.
Because she's a spy.
Yeah. So he again does his dog whistle to her Irish greyhound in there.
It's a lovely doggo, I have to admit.
Yeah, big dog. He's getting around. He's going to be the marsh master, whatever the hell that is. So he goes around the pub where he meets Arthur, isn't it? Arthur doesn't like him, so he's like, "Guy, get out of here, you bastard."
Yeah, I think Arthur doesn't like him because he fancies a girl that Devlin was just chatting to outside and getting on well with.
Jenny Agutter. Yeah, it's really. I don't like the relationship here. Obviously, Donald Sutherland is playing Devlin, who must be late 20s, early 30s.
A bit too old for the relationship.
Yeah, and she basically says, "Oh, I've just turned 19." She says,
"Yeah, that
outside."
Now, granted, Mr. Devlin's got probably more flaws to his character than the fact he fancies very young women.
Yeah, oh, by the way, Arthur was dubbed, I read, by Brian Blessed.
That was Brian Blessed. Because it
wasn't Brian Blessed, but it was dubbed by Brian Blessed. Yeah.
No, that's what I mean. That the voice was Brian. It doesn't sound like Brian Blessed.
I didn't get Brian Blessed from it, but it didn't really get to a booming, shouting range. It just was normal talking.
Yeah, why bother with Brian Blessed unless you're gonna? Speaking of Blackadder, he was the king in Blackadder.
There you go, multiple connections.
Wow, that was a wasted voice.
It kind of was, yeah.
And it was very obviously dubbed as well, unfortunately.
I didn't actually pick up on it. I wasn't too paying attention to Arthur too much. I knew he was going to be incidental in the plot, but anyway. He introduced himself to Father Vereker as well, who will play a big part during the movie.
Yep.
Yeah, and so... Yeah, so then this scene I just didn't like. The theme, the soundtrack becomes this whistling soundtrack every time Devlin's on air, because he can whistle the dog. So let's do whistle soundtrack with the orchestra, and he's chasing Jenny Agutter, Molly, down to the beach, and just sidles up to her like creepily and just speaking about star signs and being smarmy, and she's like going, "Oh," kisses her, and she's going, "I like that. Get out of here before I do something weird or something," he says.
Yeah, it's completely unnecessary. I guess they decided they'd have some sort of love interest in this movie.
Yeah, make it Mrs. Grey then. She's his age.
Yeah, or just somebody the same age as him. Or just anybody but a 19-year-old or an 18-year-old, should I say.
Yeah, something around that age. Anyway.
Yeah, it's a bit weird.
Yeah.
Not necessary.
No, and it's a weird. It evolves way too quickly later on in the movie as well to be something a bit more than it should be. It's just stupid.
Yes,
we cut back a
100%.
couple of times during this time when Devlin's sort of settling in, being a jerk off over there. We have Steiner saying, "Listen, we're going to fight and die as paras, not as spies. So
Fair enough.
put our German outfits under our Polish outfits."
Bit of a mistake, though, let's be honest.
Yes.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, it unravels literally the plot. Hitler sends his best too before they head off. He's like going, "All right, lads, have fun."
He sends a postcard.
He sent a postcard, yeah, with him and his dog on the front. No, it's only joking. So they're in this very quickly then evolving this Molly and Devlin relationship. So he's in the graveyard and she comes along and goes, "Oh, I
it's yourself,
missed you."
Yay.
Oh, it's yourself, is it? Arthur comes along and has to have some fisticuffs.
Yeah, gets the crap kicked out of him by Devlin. Sure, don't you know me uncle in Belfast? Sure, he's a... fuck off.
Yeah. Then, because Arthur didn't take an offer for a free drink in the pub, so the old guy poured water over him and he went, "Oh, Devlin's giving you a drink after all." Well, he wasn't Irish, though.
Yeah. No, he's Cornish, by the sound of him.
Yeah. Well, so off the Steiner's crew, off they go. Devlin's on the beach waiting for them, and Arthur comes to the house and he's slapping up Jenny, going, "Look at this shit. He's a spy. He's a Nazi. He's got all these German things and money.
German gun here and 10 grand. What is the crack with that?"
Yeah.
He slaps her about, so he goes storming out the door, and she pulls a shotgun from the wall and shoots him in the back.
Yeah, like that's just come out of nowhere very quickly.
And
she's like, "I love him." Yeah. Oh my God, you met him yesterday. It's the Irish charm.
Yeah. He shared his lucky charms.
Exactly. He's a leprechaun.
She fell in love with his marshmallow tasty goodness.
Yeah, they're the worst parts of Lucky Charms.
I've never had them, thankfully.
No, you should have when you were in America that time with your fake Irish accent.
Oh, me God, I know.
Oh. Right, so they land. The Eagle has landed, literally.
Yep.
Steiner meets the Reverend and his sister. And then the American lad comes along, the Yank.
I wrote down here, balls. His expression on Michael Caine's face.
Captain Harry Clark, that's his name, played by Treat Williams. Yeah, so like there's the Yanks are just up the road in a big house, settling down, and so they're all
sandwiches.
Yeah. So Steiner's going, "Listen, just mess around, do some fake drills in this town, and Churchill will be here soon, so we're sorted."
Yeah. And it's all going well for them for a while.
For a while. In the meantime, we get a cut scene of Harry Clark going back to his American troop, and who's in the office?
Larry Hagman. J.R. Ewing.
Yeah. And he is terrible acting. He's like really trying hard to overact this. He's overacting to the point.
An idiot, and it's too much.
Oh, he's just overplaying it so badly. He's going, "Do you see this? They're trying to send me back to Georgia. I haven't seen a second of action." And that's as bad as it is. That's me doing.
You should have got the role, man. You should have got it.
Yeah, should have got it. Could have been a contender. Could have been someone.
Yeah, it ain't awesome. It's not his best. Well, actually, I don't really rate Larry Hagman, so maybe it is his best.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, he was trying so hard during this movie just to be in a war movie. It wasn't good at all.
It was after he was killed in Dallas, was it? No, it was before. Actually, this was probably before Dallas.
Yeah, 76, maybe just a little bit before. But so we head back to the troops drilling in town, and Steiner takes Mrs. Gray and Devlin with him just to get a bit of a sort of backstory on why they're doing this. Mrs. Gray wants revenge from South Africa. There was concentration camps in South Africa, you know.
And then they ask Devlin, "Why are you doing it?" "I like money."
Yeah.
Fair enough. That's a reasonable reason for it. I thought he was going to say something completely different, like, I want revenge.
Well, exactly.
Or something like that.
Well,
but he doesn't, and I'm happy he doesn't say that. He just says, "I got 10 grand."
Yeah.
There you go.
I read somewhere that there was an actor who was up for Devlin's role but didn't want to play. Actually, it was Caine. Yes,
yeah.
yes.
He says, "I don't really want to play an IRA man." Fair enough.
Now he would have to have put on an Irish accent.
To be honest, I think he might have done a better Irish accent than Sutherland. Americans are notoriously bad at Irish accent. English people can do it, same as Irish people can do English accents reasonably interchangeably. Yeah. But Yanks can't do Irish. Sorry, lads.
Well, explain what happens with the water wheel back in the town. It's a pivotal point of the plot.
It is very, very important. It's the scenario that breaks their plot in half, as it breaks this man in half. They're doing their maneuvers, running around the place, jumping from wall to wall, just making it look like they're being soldiers. I'm Polish. Hey. Anyway, there's kids chasing after them. They think it's great, and it's all great until one little girl falls into a weir beside a water wheel. She's slowly getting sucked towards a big chumpy wheel, which will obviously kill her. So one of the Nazi/Polish soldiers jumps into the water to save her. Very commendable. He manages to get her out just as he's sucked into the wheel and ripped apart effectively, and his clothes are in shreds. And while this is happening, there's a couple of English lads, including Father What's-His-Face, staring on, and there's a Nazi outfit underneath the Polish outfit, which is, an unfortunate decision from earlier.
Yeah.
But their cover is blown, so it's retreat to the church time.
Yeah, round everybody up. All 8 people of the village. Really wasn't a lot of people in there.
It wasn't such a big thing, but it does kind of screw them up. And the reason it screws them up is that when they retreat to the church, as they're doing so, What's-Her-Face, Molly, and the priest's sister are hanging about in the church, and they see, I think the priest's sister sees them coming up the road and goes, crap. They run into the sacristy and lock the door.
Yeah.
So the problem here is they are privy to everything that's happening. They're listening. They hear mention of Churchill and the kidnapping thereof, or the killing thereof, they assume, I guess. So they both leg it out. One heads towards Devlin's cottage, and one...
Yeah, Jenny goes to Devlin's and Pamela goes to Mrs. Gray. Both enemies.
Yeah. Big mistake on both parts.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I couldn't go past because the old dude in the graveyard who is the comedic foil.
Foreigners.
Yeah, he's like bloody foreigners at the wheel. Doesn't even say Jesus. Bad.
I love that. I absolutely love that line because he's kind of slagging off, the Irish guy, and he's slagging off the Polish guys as well. And then he sees German guys. He goes, bloody foreigners.
Bloody foreigners. Yeah. Anyway, Pamela goes to Mrs. Gray and she shoots the shit out of her, but she gets into the car and drives away onto the Rangers.
Just about.
She survives. Everybody, don't worry.
Miss Gray is an absolute terrible shot.
Yeah,
she didn't even aim. She hip fires with a pistol. That's not how you should have gone.
No.
You're the worst spy ever.
Yeah, she should have taken lessons or something. Anyway, she heads to the church to tell Steiner everything, and the priest gives her a little bit of a dressing down. It's like, what the hell? You're going to... Shame. Ding, ding. Yeah. So,
in fairness, he's kind of right.
Yeah. Yeah, like she basically was living with these people, and she doesn't really care. She's outside with Steiner going, I never really thought about leaving this. So she's like...
She actually likes it there.
She likes the life, but doesn't like the English.
Yeah, that's kind of what she says. But then she's like, oh, crap, I have to leave. But I like these people. You idiot.
Yeah, twit. So now the Rangers know, and Hagman's going, let's go, everybody.
Yeah, he's full gung ho.
Oh, he's terrible.
And Captain What's his face is like, shouldn't we call this in?
Yeah, Captain Clark's going, and then he's like, and Larry is going, all right, call it in. Then Clark leaves the room, and Larry goes, yeah,
cancel that call.
Cancel that call. Let's go.
Idiot.
Roll out, everybody.
Give me some grenades.
Yeah. He's sort of as hapless as David Schwimmer's character in Band of Brothers, really. He just hasn't got a clue what he's doing. And
yeah, in fairness, it's kind of half explained away by the fact that he's never seen action. But it also, he would have had some training at some point on how to do his job. And none of what he does is anything like the training he would have received.
Yeah, so he takes a lot of the lads down into the town and situates them around and puts a white flag on his aerial and heads to the church and meets the guy at the door, asks him a bunch of questions, and all he does is yes.
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 Can you speak English? Yes.
Yes.
Are you taking the piss? Yes.
Yeah. And then he just turns around and
walks back in again
with his goofy grin and just walks back to the church.
It's it's another thing I enjoyed. It's kind of weird. Nazi soldiers were comedy, and they're kind of likable at times.
Well, that's the thing, though. Like as you said at the start, they're not really Nazis. They're sort of the paratroopers. They're not.
Yeah.
They're soldiers. They're the same as the American guys. They're not idealistic. They're not.
They're doing their jobs, and they're trying to do the best at their jobs that they can.
Yeah, and they didn't want to commit suicide for the cause or anything. They wanted, if they're going to die, they die fighting. Yeah, they die fighting though, and that's just normal.
Well, they wanted to die, or at least try to, get out of prison.
Yeah,
because they were on a death sentence, as we said earlier. So their reason for fighting is quite a different.
Yeah. All right. In the meantime, Captain Clark cuts off Churchill and takes him to the big house that they're in, as well, and then they do the church attack because they didn't get anything from them. So it's a massive church attack. I don't know. It's sort of all over the place. Very loud.
Intentionally unorganized because Hagman didn't bother. He just said, right, everybody move in. One of the other, I think his lieutenant says, shouldn't we send some recon in first and see what's going on?
Yeah,
no, attack.
Yeah, so they get split up
again.
They get split up. A lot of people get killed. Jeep goes into the river. Like it's a shit show, and then Hagman legs it.
It's 20-0 at this point.
Yeah, Hagman legs it with another dude, and I gotta get some help. Oh, it's Mrs. Gray's house.
Go get that bitch.
Heads up the stairs.
He doesn't.
Yeah. He gets a headshot. That's what he does.
I know, and this is what I found weird here. She missed horribly with the other girl, maybe because she didn't really fancy killing her because she didn't hate her that much. But Hagman gets it right between the eyes.
Yeah, he gets shot through the helmet and just blood pours down his helmet onto his face.
He's just pulled the pin of a grenade at this point, which doesn't help his situation.
No, that rolls down and explodes down below.
Right beside his head. So if the headshot hadn't killed him, the lack of head probably killed him.
It was a decently shot shoot, basically.
Yeah. It was one of the better pieces of production in this.
Yeah,
I like the expression on his face as he got shot.
Yeah, he was totally shocked. So his comrade goes up, and I think she killed herself, right? Because he shoots through the wall, but I don't think he got her.
No, she did herself.
That's terrible.
The only way she was getting out of this was in a body bag. She knows this at this point.
Yeah. At this time, it's just there's shit going down in the village and crazy fighting and explosions and everything. But then the new wave of Rangers come and do the white flag again.
Yeah, and they have a proper conversation this time. It's not the yes man.
No.
He said because Michael Caine at this point says, yeah, they're actually sending somebody who's competent this time. So,
yeah. So
I'll go chat to him.
Yeah. So he's like, surrender. He's like, no, but the villagers can go. So he's like, Steiner's not a bad
decent enough bloke
soldier, and he gets a thank you from the mum of the little girl on the way out too, which is
it's a kind of a backhanded one. I don't like what you are or what you're doing, but thank you for my daughter's life.
Yeah. Devlin shows up and the priest goes, "You motherfucker."
Fair enough.
All right. All right, Chuck. Yeah. Kicks the priest out. Now the priest was going nuts. Like he was like getting
man of peace. I'll break your face.
Yeah. So everybody gets out, and they're going, all right, let's fight back until there's no more of us. And Devlin's going, there's a tunnel to be sure.
Oh, be car now, sure.
Naturally.
That's why I got in, like.
Yeah. So Steiner, a very injured dude, and Devlin head out. The rest stay. Of course, the dude plays an organ throughout the thing. It's like, get to a window, man. Start shooting.
No, I love this. Screw it. You're dead. I'm going to play the organ on the way out.
It's like the bloody band on the Titanic.
Yeah. Just keep playing.
Yeah. So there's a bunch. That's great. And actually, at this point, I was very surprised that there were still some Polish Germans left in the pub and the other houses around the village. I thought they were all in the church at this stage. So they were all shooting.
Yeah, I was confused by that as well. I thought they all retreated back to Central Base, but they obviously left a few just to be sneaky, like. But
sneaky,
wasn't a great move.
No, and so
especially when a tank rolls up.
Yeah, the tank fucks them up. They're all dead, and they go through the graveyard using the headstones for cover, fake headstones
because they're a bit bendy.
They were a bit bendy. Throw a few grenades through, which are crazy big explosions from them.
Yeah. Either way, the grenades would have done the job.
Yeah, the organ player does his last note by falling on the keys. Bling!
Yeah, you got to do it like that. If you fall backwards, you've ruined your opportunity.
Yeah, it has to be a classic organ player death. Jenny is still hanging out at Devlin's house. Like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah, I don't get that.
I love you,
but I hate you. I'm out of here. Bye. Yeah, that's fine.
All right. So Steiner, Devlin, and the injured dude, the boat has arrived. Just broad daylight up the river.
Yeah, I love that.
It's the same with the paratrooping in. There's broad daylight. I guess, the coast of England is massive, but having said that, there's a low flying.
They were flying a DC-3, which is an American plane, and it was flying the colors of, I think it was the American colors, and then the boat was a British boat with British flags.
Yeah. It was actually a real boat, by the way, the movie. Like, it was a real World War II boat. I believe.
Yeah. It wasn't just
it wasn't like fake. Let's just put shit around a normal boat.
A rowing boat.
Yeah. Dinghy. Yeah. Anyway, Devlin's staying. He's like, oh, I found something I want to keep. But he doesn't go back to
No,
Molly,
I don't know what he's trying to keep then.
No.
I think maybe it was his 10 grand.
Yeah. Hans wants to stay, but Steiner's going, listen, get that self onto the boat. You can barely stand, you idiot.
How much use will you be with one hand and about 2 liters of blood left in the system?
Yeah, it was ridiculous. So Steiner wants to go off to Churchill in that big house.
Yeah, he does a damn good job of it.
Yeah. I love the way the boat raises the Nazi flag, though. The German flag, I mean, not the Nazi flag.
Yeah, I would have held on to the changing of the flags until it's at the coast.
Yeah.
Not up a river.
Yeah. Back in Alderney Island, Raddle is going to Carlos and get out of here. We're fucked.
Albatross has messaged us, and there's only one wounded fledgling on its way back.
Yeah.
I'm dead. You get out of here because you're just following my orders.
Yeah. So everybody knows.
I would say, no, Carl. It was your bloody idea.
Yeah, exactly.
You're going to die instead of me.
Yeah. So at this stage, Hitler, and Goebbels are going, we need to give a fall guy here because if they find out it was from us, we're dead, and they're going to just flatten Germany, basically.
Yeah, like I don't know if it actually did come from. It's never really explained, but it's kind of suggested that Himmler forged the signature just to ingratiate himself with Hitler by succeeding in a daring plan.
Maybe, yeah, it's a possibility. They're all conniving, weren't they?
Certainly were.
Conniving lads.
Anyway, it didn't work, and they're not going to blame themselves for what didn't work.
True. Yeah. So Steiner wants to head off to knock off Churchill, and he make a long story short, he's hiding at the side of this patio, and Churchill himself comes out
with his brandy and cigars.
Brandy and cigar, acting the part, And Caine's slow-mo, just walking up to him. It's like, get it over with. Get it over with.
Shoot him. Don't even come out. Just shoot him from the shadows.
Yeah. Which he does shoot, and then I think it's Harry Clark that shoots him. But then...
poor sod.
Yeah.
Poor sod. Nobody will never know. And Mr. Clark's like, what? He just shot Prime Minister Winston Churchill. And the guy's like, nah, right not.
It's a double, mate.
It's just George.
Yeah, George. Actor from the local Shakespearean company.
Yeah. I found him down the pub. Looked like Churchill. So
yeah, looked like Churchill. Stuck a bowler hat on him, cigar.
There you go. You stand there and get shot.
Yeah. Don't worry. We'll pay you some money. And if you don't get shot, you can live a life of luxury.
Yeah, we'll get you all the cigars you can smoke for a couple of years. There you go.
Yeah, we've got a couple of endings here where what's the deal? Yeah, there's a letter.
Devlin's got dogs.
Devlin's got the dogs because he whistled at them when they went searching for him. Runs out the back with them, and the American guy's going, "Told you those dogs were idiots" or something. It's like, yeah. Jenny or Molly's reading the letter that he sends to her. I've forgotten every word of it because I hated it. I hated his thoughts. Can you remember it?
No. I only, to be honest, I only finished watching this about 2 hours ago, and it left my brain quickly.
Yeah, some stupid Irish lyrics and bullshit. Rattle back over in the island is getting under arrest, and you see him. It's interesting. It's a very well shot actually, because it looks like he's at a pier and he's ready to get onto a boat or whatever, but it's not. He's getting shot. He's up against the wall. Yeah, he's leaving to an astral plane. He gets lined up and shot and takes the blame for it. And at the end of it all, we get this sort of still painting type shot of the boat, like in the dry banks of the river.
I meant to Google it, but it looked like not real.
No, it looked like a painting, where I'm guessing this is where this director is like going, didn't even shoot it. And
somebody just paint it. We're done.
Somebody just painted, hey, can you do the painting? That's the end of a movie. There's some sort of weird... So Devlin's at the cliff site or whatever, and he whistles and the dogs run away or something.
Yeah, he sends them off. I'm done with you now. Cheerio, lads.
The music sounds very Star Trek-y at the end. It's sort of... It's just something... No, yeah, similar, but it just sounded very ethereal. It's like, this is weird. This is strange.
Yeah, they were ascribing too much mysticism to Mr. Devlin because of his dog-controlled powers or some such bollocks.
Yeah. What did you give the plot? That was the end of the movie, by the way.
That is the end. Plot, I actually liked the plot. I thought it was an interesting little story. I give it 3.
3. I gave it 2.5. It's average. Like, it's a unique plot, but it's sort of let down by dialogue and
what I liked
script.
About the plot is as you say, it is unique. It's a very different perspective. It's not, creating monsters of the Nazi soldiers, but it's not also, making them out to be good guys. They are not. So it's more of a, they're just soldiers type thing. And that's an interesting perspective. It's a first take on that side of the war, I think, in terms of chronological sense.
Yeah, it must be one hell of a plot or a book to put German soldiers of World War II on the sort of, to make them likable.
Yeah, I think they go out of their way to make them likable. Like to start off with the Jewish girl that tried to protect her.
Yeah.
Because without that, the audience would be like, why are we trying to, why are we following these guys? They're monsters. Why should we care if they succeed in here?
Yeah. So they did a balance of that. Fair enough. That's fine. I gave acting 2 just because of Donald Sutherland's Irish accent. And also, I think Robert Duvall did a great job. I think Michael Caine was fine. Donald Pleasance was very good. But it's a weird movie to do a stickler for acting because they're all speaking English and they're all German soldiers, most of them, and it's just sort of weird. And
Yeah,
Duvall is the pick of the bunch. Himmler, pleasant as Himmler, doesn't really show up that much, but he's
great when
definitely
he's
put
on
his
screen.
he definitely put his homework into it.
I give it 2.5 because of those two guys. I thought they were excellent. I didn't hate Donald Pleasant as much as you. Oh, Donald Sutherland as much as you.
No.
If you take away the accent and the bad dialogue he's got, I think he does a decent job. And Michael Caine's Michael Caine.
My name's Michael Caine.
And I'm a Nazi.
I'm a nosy neighbour. Every time I look at Donald Sutherland's face, I just see Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
That's not a bad thing. It's a good movie.
It's a good movie, yeah. I wouldn't mind watching it, actually. Again, for this. Sam Brackett's track I gave 2. It was incidental and didn't do much for me.
I give it 2.5. It neither adds nor takes away. It's generic World War II music for the time.
Yeah. I will give production. I'll give it 2.75. I had it at 2.5, and I'll bump it up a bit because I think, I guess the scenery and the production sets and everything, the fact that they made that little village out of nothing. It's all fake. That water wheel was put onto that building. I think it wasn't real, whatever.
They actually threw a man into the water wheel to make that happen.
Yeah, it was a stunt man did that. Actually, I read. Obviously, but I know even the paratroopers coming down was shot with real paratroopers, and I think nothing looked too fake apart from the headstones in the graveyard.
I think production was pretty. I actually went a little bit higher. I went with 3.
So you've got nostalgic reasons for grading this up.
I do have nostalgic reasons, and to be honest, I was surprised that I didn't hate it because there's been a couple of movies we've had, and I've had nostalgic reasons for wanting to watch it, like Krull, and that disappointed me massively. But this didn't disappoint me at all. So this nostalgia still holds my attention here. So I probably am a little bit rose tinted on this. So I'm going to stick with 3.
Shamrock tinted glasses.
Shamrock, yes.
Yeah. Well, okay then. The eagle has landed on this episode again, or in this movie. I will look at the reviews here. Newsweek gave it 40 back in 1977.
Ouch.
Very short sentence. It says the movie's only real attempts to drum up excitement involve gratuitous violence.
What?
Well, hopefully that journalist has lived to see the violent movies of 2024.
I can't remember any gratuitous violence in this.
No.
Maybe Arthur getting shot in the back. It's about as violent as it got.
Yeah, that was pretty violent. Kind of Tarantino-esque, sort of abrupt.
Yeah, that was quite shocking. Everything else was just standard, fall over because somebody went bang bang.
Well, Hagman was abrupt as well.
Oh, that was actually pretty bad too. Yeah.
Actually, kind of reminded me of the part in Psycho when the guy gets knifed in the face, and we see it from the dude's angle, and like we're facing him, and he's falling down the stairs from our vantage point as the stabber.
Yeah.
I thought
that's more shocking, to be honest. That's it.
Oh yeah, that was crazy. Yeah. Vincent Canby in the New York Times gave it 80. He said, a good old-fashioned adventure movie that is so stuffed with robust incidents and characters that you can relax and enjoy it without worrying whether it actually happened or even whether it's plausible. It's kind of a weird thing.
Sure, he's basically saying turn your brain off and watch people get shot. It's a good movie.
Yeah. Actually, Time Out gave it 50, said, Sturges turns in a tired study of German and Irish accents and little else.
Yeah, I agree with Time Out on this one. The Irish accent's shocking.
Shockingly bad, yeah. So yes, we that's the end of The Eagle Has Landed. Das ist die End. Beendet. So let's roll. Unless you've got anything else to say about Michael Caine.
No. I'm hoping we get another Michael Caine movie, which is better than this one.
Yeah. Okay, let's roll for episode 67, I believe. And we're getting 10,719.
That's a big number.
It is. And episode 10,719 is a movie called Knock Knock
Who's there?
From 2015. Interesting. It's an interesting movie because the lead star is Keanu Reeves.
What?
I know. I read this and said, I don't know this movie, and Keanu Reeves is a star, and it's directed by Eli Roth.
Come on. How come we don't know this? 2015, you say?
Yeah, interesting, right?
Is it an action?
No, a summary is when a devoted husband and father is left home alone for the weekend. It's not Home Alone 3 or anything. Two stranded young women unexpectedly knock on his door for help. What starts out as a kind gesture results in a dangerous seduction and a deadly game of cat and mouse. So, it'll be a thriller type thing.
Oh, no. Keanu Reeves is going to try to act. Oh, it never works. Well, you should keep the action, Keanu. You're great at it.
Yeah, so Eli Roth's obviously known for his horror, like Hostel and Cabin Fever, Grindhouse, Hostel Part 2.
Yeah, oh god, I hate like the body shock horror stuff. I hope it's not like that.
I don't think it's going to be that way inclined.
Because I've seen Hostel and I did not enjoy it. It's very Saw-like.
Oh yeah, I'm guessing this is going to be some sort of thing where like The Visitors or something that it's sort of a cat and mouse maybe thing based in a small scenery like a house.
Have not seen The Visitors.
Eli Roth played Sergeant Donnie Donovich in Inglourious Bastards.
Get away.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. I didn't realize that was him. Cool.
Yeah, neither did I actually. All right, so that's fine, right? That's we'll figure it out and check this one out. It has a Metascore of 53, so critics hated it, but it's got a user score of 6.8 with 327 user ratings. So
okay, well maybe it's not all that bad.
No, well, people love Keanu Reeves and people love Eli Roth, so there's a bit of a cultish following, at least behind Eli Roth, but there's a general following of Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves is very likable.
Well, he is. He's a lovely bloke.
Yeah,
he's Canadian.
But okay, he's not the best actor, but he can do. He
knows how to move.
A presentation of acting. That's similar to acting.
Such a backhanded compliment.
Yeah,
barely a compliment at all.
In case I meet him in future, I don't want him to, because I really like him as a person and an actor. And The Matrix is in my top 10 movies of all time.
Deservedly, it's amazing. I think John Wick, he's absolutely outstanding in that. But it's not because of his acting. It's his physical acting, if you will, is amazing.
Yeah, his overall vibe and aura comes together.
There's a chunk of cool about him, and then he's just a lovely bloke in real life.
Yeah. Yeah, he's fine. He's good. It'll be good. Hopefully we like it. I don't want to diss him.
I'll be able to convince my wife to watch it because she loves him as well.
Yeah, it's only 1 hour 39 minutes. But yeah, it's very weird that I thought I sort of had a handle on his back catalogue. I guess
he's got some obscure stuff out there. I was made watch years ago. He did some rom-com, not even a rom-com, just a romantic story about some lad's car breaks down and he stays in an Italian village or something. It was awful.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Shockingly bad. I think it was just after Speed.
Well, this came out in 2015, 1 year after John Wick, so he shouldn't have really been looking for anything interesting. Or
he can pick whatever role he wants, really.
True.
So, he doesn't have to settle. I still think one of his best roles is was it Toy Story 4?
As Duke Kaboom. Yeah.
Amazing. Yes, Canada.
Yeah. All right. I think there's actually a new Matrix coming out too.
Yeah, I tried watching the most recent one.
I watched it. Listen, I watched the original Matrix this weekend. I just opened it and I said, I'll watch the first 20 minutes. I watched it.
Still fresh. Yeah.
I loved it. And you have to look at it with a sheen of it's 99 or whatever as well, because if you do, then you understand how amazing the production is as well. Revolutions and Reloaded and Revolutions are god awful.
Yeah.
I hated them a lot. And the fourth one I watched, I think when I was living in Japan, I was like going, whatever, yeah, it's as a standalone action movie, it's okay. But again, we shouldn't have gone back to the Matrix.
Yeah.
Like the second Matrix should have been them in the real world fighting. Nothing. Don't go back into the Matrix. You don't need to. Everything is outside.
God damn it.
Yeah, everything is outside. Everything's outside. Kill those fucking big crazy farm monsters.
Yeah.
Kill the squiddies, and find the mainframe. And well, they do that in Revolutions, but just do that from the start. That's just fucking.
Yeah. Well, the only thing about, like, at the end of the first movie, he's basically Superman.
Yeah, he's flying
in
out.
the Matrix. So him being in the Matrix is kind of pointless because he can't lose.
Well, but then in Reload and Revolutions, he's constantly having fist fights with the agents. It's going, there's no point anymore. What are you doing?
Just eat them. Stop it.
Yeah, fly into them like you did at the end of the first one. Yeah. Anyway, get sidetracked. Yeah. Anyway, okay, we'll see what Keanu Reeves is like in episode 67. Send us your top 10 or top 5 movies if you want us to feature any of your movies in a later episode. And subscribe and leave reviews and comments wherever you listen to this. Okay, and we'll see you in the next episode. Take care. Bye-bye.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Ciao. Tschüss.